Hey guys, it's Savannah here with Eden Savvy Creations, and today I wanted to show you guys how I make my Jaclyn Rose. So my Jaclyn Rose comes in mini sizes, and I have them split up in templates. The templates split up in sizes, I'm sorry. I have like super tiny, mini, extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and gigantic. So today though, I'm just doing a medium, which is just this template right here by itself. That's what I cut out all my petals in this size. And this next size right here makes it what I like to call a medium large rose, which, you know, it's between 16, 17 inches. So it's like not very big, but not very small either. I know I just made up my own size, but this is what I'm using today. I'm just using the one, and I've cut out 24 petals, and I wanted to do an ombre rose because I really love the ombre look on flowers. So I just picked out two almost similar shades of burgundy, where one's darker, one's just a little lighter. And right now it does look like a big difference, but trust me, when you put the flower together, you really can't tell from far away unless you're looking up close how ombre it is. And it's going to be very pretty. So I cut out 12 petals of each shade. And 24 pretty much is a safe number to go on to cut out. I usually, that's pretty much what I always use, is 24 petals to make a full bloomed rose like I like. So yes, let's have your template, your choice of paper, a pencil, and your scissors obviously to use, and a high temperature glue gun. Let's get your stuff together and create. Alright guys, so I like to break these up into fours. So I always know that my rosebud, my center, is going to be 12 petals. The first 12 petals is pretty much just your rosebud, and that's where I begin. So I have rose centers. I'm sure some of y'all have seen those, and that's how I first started. But I found that this way, using just this by itself, makes such a pretty rosebud for the middle, and it's so much faster, so much quicker. So I kind of stopped using those middles, and I'm just using these. So to get started, you take two first. I just dropped some, and then you're gonna glue these two on top of each other and make like a bow tie, dog bone kind of shape. Sorry, everything's falling right here. And I crease all of them like that. So you're pretty much just going to curl these into each other and make it a little tighter. Sometimes I pick it up, just kind of go around with it. And I mean, it's really up to you how tight, how close you want it, how loose you want it. But just make sure that as you're tightening it, that this down here doesn't get twisted along with the tightening that you're doing. So that's why I lay it down, to make sure that everything's equal. And then holding it, I just kind of put some glue in the side right there. Push it down. And do the same for the other side. You don't want to use too much right here, because then you end up burning yourself. But that's how you get your center. So you just keep going like that. You get two more. You get two more, and you're gonna do the same. And as you can tell too, I push it, right now I'm pushing it all the way up to where the crease is at, so that it's just like this. And then you just glue this part on. And you're gonna wanna go opposite. So since it's curled from this way, you just turn it opposite for these to curl into it. Now these do get a little more tricky gluing these on. And I always like to practice it first before I just go in and glue. And just kind of fold the paper to get prepared and ready for this part. You just add the glue down here. Try not to go too far up on the petal right there. And sometimes my glue lets off a lot of excess strands. But try, if you can, to try and like pull it apart a little bit, just to make sure that it's not too close but yet not too far away. I didn't put enough right here, so just add a little more. And then you're gonna do the same for this side. And you just want to measure it out, check it out, make sure they're pretty much equal. And then you're going to keep going with your layers. So again, just two, push it all the way. Don't push it too far up to the top. Just give it, like, I don't know, half an inch down this time, because now our base is getting a little wider. So again, like I said, you want to go opposite of how you just folded these two papers. So they're going to become like this now. That bugs me, y'all. I'm sorry. I hate seeing those extra strings. So again, when you're putting the glue on, just try to watch how far up you're going, so that way you don't get it too far up that it's not gluing on the paper, it's just sticking out. There's that next layer. So these will be the 7th and 8th petal that I've put on. And again, I just did about half an inch down of glue because our base is getting wider. So keep that in mind as you're gluing these like this, because you want to measure it out. And I mean, I've been doing these a lot, so that's how I know how far down to go. But if you're just starting out, it's okay for you to just have these unglued and just kind of, you know, test it out. Be like, okay, well, that's half an inch. Let's see if this center fits it, and put, you know, fold these up on the side make sure that it's equal, because you want these to be equal. You want these to be equal when you test it out, the same height. You see how they're the same height? Because if this petal has more sticking out and comes, you know, like above right here, then it's gonna throw off what this petal is gonna look like. So I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I love roses, they're so beautiful, but I hate doing them, they're so hard. It's okay, practice makes perfect, trust me. Roses are like my all-time fave flower, and I hated trying to deal with them in the beginning because I had a love-hate relationship. But let me tell you, the more that you make them, and you know, when you get yourself in a rhythm, and you're really just learning that template, it gets easier and easier and easier with time. So I've had a lot of trial and errors, y'all. So this is pretty much the rosebud. This is the center part. That's what it should look like. Now, these next 4 petals that I use, I like to incorporate these in my bud and curl them. So I get a fat glue stick and I just curl right here. Curl the sides just a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing that I've been doing with all the rest. I'm just dropping everything tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. I just got all my kids down. It's a Sunday night. They got school early in the morning. And I'm in my room because I'm between laundry and doing this for y'all. So my desk here is a little smaller than what I usually have. But we're going to make it work. I'm going to get this video for y'all. So here, I'm going to do about a good inch, a good hole. I like to kind of put my pinky there and say, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty wide enough. Because, you know, this is getting, the more layers that you add, it could just kind of gets wider right here on the sides. And then I'm going to test them out. So I like to just bring it to the side, see how much I need to move the bud over, and then you just fold them in like that. So that's, I'm gonna glue it, and I don't push it down. I like to set it there and make sure that it's centered. Bring up the sides a few times, and when I know that it's centered and it's good, I even flip it around, because you see, you don't want it too far. You see how there's more edge than this side, so I just kind of like to make sure that it's equal a little bit. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I'm kind of OCD with that. I like to make sure that it's all equal, it's all there. So now with these petals, you're gonna want to stay just right here at the bottoms, because that's all that we're curling, because we're just gonna pick it up down here to curl, like to have it fan out like that, or bloom out, I guess I should say. So I try to use very little glue, because you don't want to burn yourself. My gun gets super hot. See, I'm just grabbing the bottom corners down here and working those in. So again, you just fold in those bottom ones, have it fan out, and there's that first layer. Oh, papers don't want to come apart. Kind of put the glue a little too far up, but it's okay. So again, you go opposite. Just try to make sure that it's all even and equal at the bottom. Sometimes it is a slow process just because you do want to pay attention to that detail of making sure that these are matching. The lines aren't too far away from each other, or it's too off-centered. You just want to make sure that it matches good. And don't be afraid to pick up your flower, ladies, and to be able to mess with it. You're not going to hurt anything, I promise. You've got a rose, you've got to constantly pick it up. I have a lot of pencils on hand because like this, where it's getting a little tighter, sometimes I can't put my finger inside to try and help press the glue down, make sure that it's good. So there's the rosebud center. And just look how pretty that is. Just looks so full. So now we're gonna add the rest of the layers. Okay guys, so let's get to the second layer. I had to pick the camera up just a bit because like I said, I'm in my room, I'm not in my office, so I have to make a whole new set for y'all in my room. But we have the rosebud, so now we're gonna start adding the next darker color. And these, so all of these petals, there's 12 more of these too. Right now I have 4, the first set of 4. And you're just gonna wanna curl that. Let me see my cat back there. He's torturing me right now. Always messing with my stuff. If it's not the kids looking for mommy, it's the kitties or my dog. I have an older dog. I don't know what I'm doing right now, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so you're not gonna these next 4 layers, you're not gonna glue it on the back like this, like I just did, but it's fine. I pulled it down and kind of wiped it off. What you're gonna want to do to make sure that you get that full bloomed out look is now you're gonna want to take these and go between these 2 right here and these 2. So instead of going like this again, you're gonna come through like this. So let me fix myself here. Come around. Yes, I'm in my pajama shorts, y'all. Sorry. So you're just gonna want to put a little bit. And you're gonna pick it up. You see the corner right there. That's usually a good point to lay it down, and just kind of, like I said, bring it up again and measure it, and then press it down. So I like to do 2 at a time first, and you know, just go opposite. So again, look for that corner. No, move. You're okay, you're okay. He wants to know what I'm doing. I need to pull it just a little further back. And pretty much, oh, okay. So see, if it's not my kids, it's the cat. But pretty much, you're going to do the same thing that you did with this layer. So you're going to put a little bit of glue right here, and you're going to pick it up that way. And I'm really just not using a lot at all. And again, the other side. Ow, that was hot. You see, it's going opposite. And by you pressing down, by you just getting the glue right here in these lower corners, that's starting to give it this pull-out effect where it looks like it's opening up and it's blooming. So keep that in mind every time you're applying them or you're putting the glue. So again, you're just going to go between those right there. Find the corner. Just check it out. Now, I haven't really pushed these down. I just want to make sure of how it is exactly. And these next ones, you just kind of want to make sure it's a little centered. Now, if ever you have to pull it off like that, make sure you do it quick and painlessly right before the glue starts to really stick. That's why I don't like to really press it down yet, because it's, I mean, it's all in working on it. You gotta test some things out and make sure it's good. And the glue, I mean, the glue doesn't dry like automatically, so you can still be able to pull it back, pull it out a little more, or, you know, push the petal back a little more if you need to. But that's why I say not to apply like big globs, because sometimes you're going to want to pull it back, and if you have big globs of glue, it usually just makes a mess. But I just folded it like that and pressed it up against the other one. Just kind of go inside these other petals and push it down. Make sure that the glue is really sticking on it. And it's like giving you an X effect. So it does look pretty weird. You're like, that's weird. It's boxy. But it'll come together, I promise. So here's the next 4. That's why I like to work in the 4s and do 2, 2, 2, and 2. Just take it slow, because especially if you're starting out, just give yourself time. Take it slow. Do 2 at a time. Don't try to rush in there and, you know, get all 4 on and then glue. I find that it's better to do 2 at a time on each side, just because the look that it gives them. Because I've done before where I just go ahead and I glue all 4 on, and then, you know, I'm like putting this one on, then this one next, but it throws off the balance. At least that's what I think. So if you're more comfortable with doing all 4 at the same time and then going one by one like that, you totally can do that. This is just my process. So again, you're going to go between these ones where that open space is. And see how in the back now it's got these areas. That's where you're going to want to place that petal to where it's centered of those spaces. So like I said, just work with it, play with it before you really press this down to the base. That way you can still slide it around, measure it, make sure that you have the right amount, that it's centered between these, and then just go in and press it down. Make sure that the glue adheres. See how I'm pulling it out as I'm pressing here and using my thumb to pull the petal out just a bit. And I think I curled those in just a little too far. Now I am right-handed, so when I try to do petal with my left hand, I kind of get confused. I kind of get thrown off track, but we get it. I get it together. See, and by pulling them down, it gives it a really more bloomed, lay down look, like it's completely opening up and laying down. That's the look I love on my roses. So again, I found my spot right there. I've measured between the 2 petals, as you can see. And you're gonna go between those. So find your spot, see that little opening, use that as your guide, and then just Try to make sure that it's centered between those two. That way it looks better. So pretty much for all my roses, this is how it goes. This is the technique that I do. This is just how I make all of them, from my really tiny one that I just created to my gigantic one. This is how I make all of them. Now my extra large and my gigantic one, those are more than 24 petals, obviously, because they're bigger. I think the biggest I've gotten on my gigantic, or the most I've used on my gigantic one, is about 36 petals, 38. I think it's 38 petals. So they can get pretty big. So again, you want to go find your spaces between the petals here and just do the same thing. So if you guys are starting out making roses, don't get frustrated with your first ones if they're not coming out the way you exactly feel that they should come out. I mean, it's all in practice. I like to tell everybody, never give up. Don't give up. Don't give up, especially if it's something that you really love. Like, this is my favorite flower, y'all, and it at one point I did want to give up. I was done. I was like, I'm not getting this. It's not coming out the way I want it. And you know what? I had to just make, I mean, this is a version that I created that I feel like has helped me a lot better than other templates. But you know, that's me. That's my opinion. That's for me. This is what works this way. Y'all might buy my template and do a different technique that works for you, and that's completely fine. So here on this last layer, I'm taking the glue up just a little bit more instead of, you know, just down there. I'm taking it up to about right here where you can see like the burn mark of the glue. And then I'm really pinching it, like really pinching it, bringing it out so that way it starts to really lay out. And how I do that, since it is getting bigger, is I'm gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna crease it, and with this other hand just kind of go in the other petals and help to like glue it down, stick it on the paper. And so there we go. There's our finished look on the rose. And actually, you know, you could probably add another 4 if you wanted. Make it a lot bigger. Or you can go in with the next size up, because right now this is the one that I used. So you can just stick with that one with the medium rose, or you can go in with this next template up and make a medium large. And like another 2 layers of this one makes it really good. So that's all for today. This is my Jaclyn medium rose. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I helped you a lot. And I hope you guys all have fun creating. Till next time, y'all. Bye.